What's a happening, nerds? This is John Nerding Out with Cards, and after a couple weekends off, here we are back with Ozzie Smith weekend. But I'm going into my second year here on the YouTube making videos, and the number one thing I love talking about the most is my Ozzie Smith cards. So anyway, I tossed around a couple ideas for themes and stuff. And so, like one of them was second year cards. But there's not that many, right? And so within this video, the twist is going to be it's going to be second year cards of manufacturers. And I'll get into that. So with that being said,
It's an Ozzie Smith weekend, right here on this little screen. Backflips in the highlight reel, legend in his dreams. From the Wizard to Molina, yeah, he loves them all the same. It's an Ozzie Smith weekend, John's living in the cards in the game.
all right. So man, I love that song that Andy over at Andy's Attic made for me. It means a lot. The time and the effort that he put into it, and it's just so damn awesome. And I love using that for the intro. But anyway, like I said, it's second year cards of manufacturers, and pulling out cards for this. There's actually things that I learned along the way, and I'll pass those along, as we go into cards. But a lot of times, we remember the first year. Some of those are like landmark sets. We remember the '81 Fleer Donruss because that's when the monopoly went away. We remember '89 Upper Deck because it just revolutionized the hobby. The Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card and everything. But for a lot of these manufacturers, they entered the card manufacturing realm. They were trying to get their share of the market. They were trying to still trying to find where they fit within the market. Similar to going into my second year, it's where do I fit? And so I thought that there was some symmetry and some kind of like thought processes that went behind picking these cards, picking this theme. And without further ado, I'm just going to start showing some cards. And going back to the '81, well, '82. It's not like this set gets forgotten about because it's got the King Cal Ripken Jr. Cards, those rookie cards. But you got the Donruss right there, Fleer, and it's really kind of funny that collecting over the years, so hyper focused on Ozzy that when I started like branching out, it blew my mind that these manufacturers didn't exist anymore. Because even into the post playing days of Ozzie Smith, when I was collecting like relic cards and the newer cards at that time, they were still producing cards. And so to find out that they went out of business, and later on it was Panini who had bought their the branding, the rights to the names and everything. It was kind of like a shock. But anyway, Leaf here in '86, because earlier it was Donruss by itself, and then it became Donruss Leaf. Kind of like an O-Pee-Chee competitor for Canada. But that's why, like, later on, like, because I'm going in chronological order here, you're not going to see more commonly thought of Leaf sets, right? You think of like the Frank Thomas rookie card and everything. But that's when like Leaf kind of like branched off and had its own designs and things like that, like O-Pee-Chee did in the early '90s. But Sports Flicks. I'm having a hard time with this, but right up on Sports Flicks a little bit, like '86, which has like Barry Bonds, but that was more of like just like rookies. And so then in '87, that's what this is. Um, they started producing cards of all players and whatnot throughout Major League Baseball, and Sportsbooks was really cool because they had like themed cards, between teams, awards, positions, and whatnot. Really cool stuff. Here in '89, second year for Classic, and it started out as like a game of sorts, but anyway, the '88 is the first Ozzie Smith card that I have from Classic. So then '89 is its second year in production. Score, which I thought was a tremendous manufacturer of cards, and it actually became more so going through my binder for this video. But you got this '89 scorecard. Yeah, '89. But man, Score made some banger cards. And what's funny is I had anticipated pulling out a Pinnacle card for this video, but then I looked at the back of the was it '92 Pinnacle, and you look at like the copyright and everything, and Pinnacle was actually a Score brand. And it's funny. I've gone all these years thinking that Pinnacle was its own thing that developed its own sub brands later on, but no. Come to find out that Score was the manufacturer of Pinnacle cards, and especially for the '90s, Pinnacle cards are some of my favorite of that decade, and at the same time, kind of like overall in the hobby. So that was quite surprising to learn, and that's a cool thing about going through your collection like this. You learn more things. Maybe not of you don't learn of new cards necessarily, but stuff about the cards. And I thought that was really cool. So, but here in '89, because there was I saw some for '88, but this sticker right here, and I've said it before in my videos, but like as a kid and whatnot, I don't remember Panini being a major brand or anything. But as we know now, Panini developed into a major player within the card manufacturing aspect of the hobby, and things that I was just unaware of happening around me was the whole licensing stuff. And so Panini, for better or worse, good or bad, has a significant part of the hobby story, a significant part of card manufacturing history, and so that's why I definitely wanted to pull this out. While I would not consider that Panini at that time being a major manufacturer of cards, but I definitely had to pull it out. Um, and then of course we all know Upper Deck, tremendous card manufacturer. Love the image on this. But 1990 Upper Deck. It's got the hologram on the back. It's got an image on the back. Great imagery here on the front. And one of the things that I really liked about specifically the first 3 years of Upper Deck was it had, you see this right here on top, but they did that and it was first base, second base, third base. Kind of like that design element, and it was like a piece of consistency and whatnot for those first 3 years. And then with '93, they went to a totally different, card design, which was great in of itself. But it would have been kind of cool if that fourth year would have continued on what they started those first 3 years. But tremendous stuff. And then within Ozzie Smith's career, up to '96, the last like major like manufacturer or brand or whatever to enter the market was Pacific. And Pacific made some amazing cards. And they only, I mean, and a lot of these manufacturers, of course, just the designing and technology and stuff that they use just exploded. Um, but here, Pacific was still in its infancy, still a great car design, but holy cow, the killer stuff that they came up with in later years. And it's been said many times, it's quite unfortunate that these manufacturers don't exist anymore. The licensing thing, like I talked about, is a major thing that does affect us as collectors, you know. But it's while these some of these manufacturers and everything like that went on to greater things. You notice I didn't show sub brands. So like with Fleer, I did not show Ultra. With Tops, I did not show Stadium Club or Finest. Things like that. But that's because they are manufactured by the parent company, and by that time, like those parent companies were established, and their options is bigger and better things, technology, all that stuff. So I really kind of wanted to focus on that. They're still growing within the hobby at that time. But this is how I'm nerding out. Bunch of second year manufacturer cards. um, anyway, I hope y'all like that. I hope y'all are digging what this channel's doing. The stuff that I show and everything like that, and you keep nerding out with me as I move on into that that second year. So thanks for nerding out with me.